Hi guys, and welcome to a tutorial on detailed building. Today, in this tutorial, I won't show you how to build anything, but rather I will show you a way to learn stuff and build things in Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 in your own way, because I want to move away from actually teaching people how to do certain things, because the best way to improve if you're already experienced at the game is to learn something new, to learn a new way, I guess, of building things. And that's essentially something I want to show today. And it's something that, since I've learned about this, I was able to learn things myself without having people to tell me what things I should do. Now, the first thing I would like to show today is this building over here, which you can, if you have some experience in the game, you can clearly tell that this is mostly made out of Ralphie's medieval sets, and there is the arch in the middle over there, which is from my own set, which is still unreleased, and I'm sorry about that. Other than that, there is not really too much going on. You can practically recreate this building with one set. Now, this does not mean that this is a bad building. I think this is a pretty good building, and if you're using it, that's fine. If you're building something like this, it'll probably look good, and I must say, there is some detail on this building, and it has a nice shape, and it'll probably work well for whatever you want to suit it for. But another building that I would like to show, which is practically the same, is this building over here. Now, I'm fairly certain that tastes, of course, do differ, but then again, I'm pretty sure that most people will actually agree that this is the best building out of the two. Now, if you pay close attention to this building, you'll see that I haven't really added too much from Ralphie's medieval world, but rather from all kinds of other sets, and that the pieces are used in a sense that they are not even really supposed to be used in. The thing is, a building automatically is going to look better if you don't recognize anything in it, because seeing these same kind of buildings over and over again, seeing people use Shy Guy's Alpine Village, and even though the buildings that people may create with that set are different in size and shape, you can recognize the same pieces, and even if somebody creates an entirely new building using those pieces, it will be something that you've seen before, and it won't make too much of an impact on you, while this, with at least, I hope, pieces that are not really commonly used in this kind of sense, it makes the entire structure look a lot more interesting. And the way that I like to go about doing this is start off with a structure like you just saw. It is definitely not a problem to just start off with something like this, because that's how I did build the second building after all. And then just go into sets, and this can just be sets that you've never opened before, that you just downloaded, or that you have no idea of what they're actually supposed to do, and just run through them and see if there are pieces that you can use. Now, if you look at this building, you may recognize a couple of pieces. For example, this small balcony thing over here is from either Ralphie's Arabian Days or Arabian Nights. I don't really remember anymore, but I've never really seen somebody use it on a medieval tower. Now, of course, this may have been done, but when I tried it on this building, it just turned out that it worked perfectly, and I had that nice little balcony thing going, and it looks interesting, and it's refreshing to see. You really have to go through various sets and look at pieces, and only every 5 or 10 minutes do you find something that is truly useful and that you can truly add onto your building. But from that moment onward, you'll recognize that that object is something that you can use in that kind of case. For example, I was incredibly lost trying to get this golden ball in the middle, because that's something that buildings in real life often have, but I never really found out which set it was in, even though I knew the set. So I asked people, and I want to shout out to Max, because he told me that it was actually a Main Street set 5, and from that moment onward, I knew that there was a golden ball in Main Street set 5, and I knew I would be able to use it in ways like this, but it's an object that you remember, and because of the fact that you keep remembering objects, the kind of process of going through sets and experimenting with them is going to go quicker the more you do it. So I guess that's a bit of an motivation for people just out there who want to start doing this and have never really done it before. Now, if you look at this tower, it is quite complex, because this thing at the top is from Pet's Efteling set. The square pole in the middle is from Moby's Glass and Frameworks. This little thing, which I have no idea what it actually is from Ralphie's Asian set. The golden ball is from Main Street 5. This thing is from Pet's Efteling set. This is from Ralphie's Medieval. This weird I have no idea what that even is from Boy Blue. I think that's the name of the set. And this thing is from Station Jim's Castle Things 2. And in fact, this tower is made up of 2 different towers from Ralphie's Medieval, because it uses the tower from the first set as well as the tower from the second set, which somehow magically actually worked very well together, so I decided to add that. And if you look at this little dormer kind of thing, it is actually made up of 2 pieces from Arabian Nights, or Arabian Days, I still don't know which is which, but that actually worked very well too, because this stucco area and this golden kind of support structure were 2 separate items that actually worked really well together. And just by going through sets and experimenting with things and using as many different sets as you can within one building, as long as it looks good, is definitely it's definitely something that is going to make your buildings look great. Another building that I wanted to look at is a building that I've recently created, and this is a Estonian Orthodox cathedral, very inspired by a building in Tallinn, and it's a really awesome building. And you know, this is a theme which is rarely even tried, so especially if you're using a theme that has rarely been done before, it's going to be really easy or almost necessary to experiment with things, so that's a nice way to get that going. But as you can see, also this building has got some interesting things going on in it, and even though there is a lot of Ralphie's Antique World, you can also see that there are many sets used within this one building. The golden arches over here are from Coconut's European Main Street. The small round arch is from my Forum Romanum set. These side stone things, not really sure what they are, from Main Street 1, while these bottom little white areas are from Shy Guys Main Street 9, and etc, etc. Many pieces of this building are from various different sets, and one thing that I actually really like about this building is the roofs. It took me a very long time to find which roofs I should use, and yes, those things totally look like Hershey's Kisses. Somebody told me and I can't unsee it anymore, but I was looking for a Russian Orthodox roof, and if you know Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 community, nobody builds Russian buildings. Well, rarely anybody. So there weren't really any custom scenery sets for what I needed in this case. And after a long time of experimenting with various things and realizing that there was no such thing, I eventually ended up somehow opening my own Alpine set, and it turned out that my church spires were actually very well fit for the top of a Russian Orthodox kind of architecture cathedral. So that was a very surprising moment, and this is a very good example of how an object, if taken away from its own context and placed in a different context, can actually give a much different look and actually look a lot better in some cases. Now, the last building I wanted to show today was this Baltic building. Yes, it's another Baltic building. You may notice that it uses a lot of Coconut's European Main Street set, which is a pretty unknown set. I really recommend it. It's an awesome set, but it also uses a lot of Shy Guys. Oh, there's the tower. It also uses a lot of Shy Guys Main Street. As you can see, there is Main Street set number 9 in these cornices, but there is also Ralphie's Antique World in this frieze. And if we look over here, we find the walls, the bottom walls from Ralphie's Antique World, as well as the Main Street number 9 bottom cornices, and these small support kind of fence thingies are actually made up of Shy Guys Main Street number 9 supports, with the caps from Moby Steel Jungle and some random decoration thing from Shy Guys Main Street 1. And this balcony was from some random German Roman set, I think. And it's just such a mix of random sets that just turn out to work in a coherent way. And when placed in the same context, these objects that are actually meant for different things can actually turn into the thing that you want them to be turned into, as long as the context states that they are that certain thing. Because Moby Steel Jungle caps would in no other scenario look like something that you would have on top of fence posts, but because it does have the kind of neoclassical, actually this is a very Art Nouveau kind of building, it does look like that. And that's what I'm trying to tell, is that you should experiment with many sets, just try the pieces and use them for things that they are not supposed to be used for, because that is what really going to make your buildings look great. If you are just starting out or you don't have much experience, you can get better by copying people and looking at tutorials and trying to do what they are doing. But if you really want to take the next step, you're gonna have to come up with ideas on your own. And this is why this tutorial is so much different from any other tutorial I've made, because I need to tell you guys that I can't help you with this. You're on your own with this. Now, I can give you some ideas and explain how this all works, but honestly, it is all down to you. And just get some sets, just work on buildings, and go through sets that are not even supposed to be used for the theme, and see if there's anything in there that you can use. And if it is, then remember that, and remember it for future reference, and in that way you can even build up your own style and come up with things on your own. And I definitely haven't learned everything that's out there. There are people out there that are better than me and more experienced in many ways, and for anybody in the community, however, the learning is never over. There are always days when you can learn something new, or days when somebody else comes out with a new custom scenery set, and there are thousands of users you can have within one custom scenery set, and not just the things that the creator says you have to do with it. And that's one last message that I want to end this video with. And I'm sorry if this video was too different than the usual stuff. I'll try to get back to that, but this is really something I wanted to tell you guys, because I think it's very important to take this different look at building in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.